Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here with Erik Estrada today.
And you're not, but you could be if you played Trials Fusion.
See? Now we are going to talk about Trials Fusion.
Let's talk about
How'd
it.
you come to this project? How did it
Well,
originally start?
I got a call from my manager that they were very interested in having me be involved with a video game. And I said, well, what kind of game is it? He said, oh, racing, motorcycles? I said, absolutely, it's a no-brainer. And the concept was me in uniform as Officer Ray, which, you know, it's taking off my character of Poncherello on CHiPs. So I said, that's another no-brainer. And I met the guys, I liked the guys, and we went to work and we knocked it out, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of crazy, crazy stuff. But it's a terrific, terrific game.
Yeah, the game looks awesome. These are promos for the game, and it's like there's a moment in it where you get to play past, present, and future
and you
Officer Ray.
And you can, oh yeah, as Officer Ray?
Yeah.
Well, I'm all through it, and I'll narrate. I'll also make comments, and I'll also arrest anybody who's out of line, and discredit their capabilities of beating the track or beating the clock or anything. But some of the cool things about the game is that you can create your. They have an editor mode. You can create your own track, your own course, and other players, other fans of the game could download your stuff and try to beat it, which is always challenging.
I'm a big fan of the series, but the challenge is like really it's a really steep challenge to that game.
All those things.
How are you on the game? Did you get to play it much?
I'm decent. You know, I go boom a lot, but I did that in real life too.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. You said you got some injuries on set over the years.
Well, in 1980 we were doing a chase, and we got the shot already. Everything was done. They had a camera in the car, and it was backing down the alley. And I come in out of a building, jump on the bike, and chase the car. And they got the shot and everything. It was a wrap. It's Friday night. Everybody's going to go home. I'm in my motorhome already, stripping down, changing into my civvies to plan my weekend. And boom, they knock on the door and said, we got a hair in the... There was a hair in the gate on the camera. We need to redo it. I said, So I got to put all my stuff back on, get out there. The stunt guys already took off. The guy that I rehearse the scene with, because everything's coordinated and rehearsed and planned.
Right.
He already split. So they threw anybody in the car, and I didn't know it, because I got on the bike, I got in the building, run out of the building, get on the bike, and chase the car. Well, the car didn't stop where we've been rehearsing and got the previous shots. It stopped too soon. And I was already almost in third gear. And by the time I downshifted to try to stop, I just skid right into the car. Front tire went under the fender. I went through the windshield, landed on the hood, and the bike, being caught like this with such force, it just flipped over and landed on my back. That was 1,000 pounds. And it fractured 12 ribs, cracked my jaw when I hit the hood of the car, broke my wrist. This was caught between, I don't know how it happened, but this baby, see, I can't bend it anymore than this. Wow. But this baby got caught between the fender and the front grille. I don't know how that happened. And punctured both my lungs. And I was in intensive care for 5 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's it like then stepping back on the set?
Oh, piece of cake.
You're like, I got this, guys.
It's like making love. You don't forget how.
So we were talking a little bit earlier, and you are actually a police officer. Can you talk about that?
I am. I became a police officer in Indiana. People say, wow, did the show make you want to be a cop? I said, no, I was going to be a New York cop anyway. I grew up in Harlem, Spanish Harlem, New York City. And my dad was a junkie, and my mother wanted to get rid of him. Got rid of him so he wouldn't pollute me and my sister. Besides, I used to watch him shoot up all the time. Yeah. I was 3, 4 years old. And then she started dating a cop. And, and I got to love this guy, and I said, that's what I want to be. You know, but at the age of 17, turning 18, there was a pretty girl that I wanted to meet, and she was into acting. And I figured, I grew up in the streets of Harlem, I can act. So I auditioned, got in, and next thing you know, I get bit by the acting bug. Now I don't want to be a cop. Now I want to be an actor. So I go on and on and on, and eventually I land. I mean, I did Midway, New Centurions, Hawaii Five-0, Airport 75, and a bunch of other indie movies. And then eventually I got to go up to pilots for a series,
Right.
and CHiPs came along. And I was fortunate enough to beat out some 500 some odd guys for that role, and got that. Then so here I was, a kid who wanted to be a cop, then an actor. Then I got to play a cop, and now I'm a cop that acts once in a while. So I went.
I want to know, do you have cops coming up to you right now and being like, you on the show inspired me to be a police officer?
Yes, I get that quite a bit. I get
awesome.
that. I get that quite a bit, and these are grown men. I mean, these are men, and I know what they deal with. I know what the job is. I know what they deal with at all times of the day when they go in on a domestic dispute. The most dangerous call they can go on is a domestic dispute,
Right?
Because it can turn on a dime. And other things, serve a warrant, go pick up, or go on a meth house, a crystal meth house, or just a regular traffic stop. I know the dangers they face, and they're grown men, and they've been through it. And when they get around me, it's like, oh man, I used to want to be you when I was a kid. I always punched. We had a little bike. They become 12 years old, and it's kind of cute to watch. It's a compliment, and I take it as such.
Okay, let's say you get pulled over. Mm-hmm. Have you ever gotten a ticket since you played Ponch?
I got a ticket during the first season, 5th or 6th episode. I was jamming on the PCH to get to the set in my new 450 SL. I was jamming, and a chippy in the car pulled me over. And by the time he got to the window, I had my license out because I know I was jamming, because that's what I do. If I'm wrong, I just pull it out. And he wrote me up and gave me a ticket. By the time I got to the set over by Canaan, further north on PCH, everybody on the set already knew, because he went over the wires. I just busted Ponch. That was the only time I got a ticket. Ever since then, cops will come up and they'll go, "Do you know that you were going 104?" I says, "Yeah, I know." He says, "Well," but they'll come to the window of the car and they'll see me and they'll go, and they got to due process. Due process is they got to run your plate anyway. They stop you. They got to run your plate,
right.
Your license, all that. It's standard procedure, and they'll come back and I'm ready to sign the ticket. And I say, and he gives me back. He says, "You got to slow down, ma'am. It's a beautiful car. Slow down." And I'll say, "Well, aren't you going to give me a ticket?" He says, "I can't give you a ticket, man. I grew up watching you. You're the reason why I'm wearing a uniform." I get
amazing.
that a lot.
That's amazing.
So then I really feel like crap.
Well, thanks a lot for talking with us today, and check out Trials Fusion.
Yes, and thank you for having me. Trials Fusion comes out April 16th on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and April 24th it comes out on PC. So enjoy it, dig it, have a blast. I'll race you.